So hello and welcome to the Tree of Life Mystery School YouTube channel. And I am here today with Trupti Jadhav. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her and introduce her to you. And we're going to have a conversation today about the divine feminine and women's issues in the US and in India, where Trupti is originally from. So welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to have Trupti here. I have known her, let's see, I want to say maybe 4 years ago. We met doing constellation work, maybe 3, since you're about to graduate from your training, and I'm in year 2 of the constellations training with Camille Adair. But that's how Trupti and I got acquainted, and she lives in Columbia, South Carolina, with her family, and she is a Reiki Grand Master, Crystal Master, Tarot Reader, Numerologist, and Graphologist. So she does lots of really cool things, and I am still learning about what you do, Trupti. And I know you have a busy practice, and you're doing that on Zoom, is that right?
Yes.
And I'm really excited to ask you about the work you're doing with the women in India and hear about that. But I'd like to just see if there's anything that I left out in your introduction or anything you want to share in addition to just say about your practice and what you're doing, the work you're doing right now.
Yeah. I'm Reiki practitioner, as you explained everything. I think that is quite enough.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say thanks for calling me, inviting me. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Trupti. You know, we were on some similar paths, obviously, with the Reiki and the constellations work, and the women's work. And I guess the first question I want to ask you, because these are all things that I've been thinking about a lot, is first of all, just when we talk about the divine feminine, which is the work we are here to do at the Mystery School, is awakening the divine feminine. What does that mean to you?
Divine feminine, for me, divine feminine is a supreme power. It's a Shakti, which can create anything, which can destroy anything. When I say destroy evil things. She has that power. It is feminine. It is divine feminine, that supreme power.
Well, I agree with that. Yes, it's a very powerful energy. And I'm curious, you know, one of the reasons I'm really glad to have you, and I'm very excited to have you be a guest faculty presenter when we start our longer Priestess cohort in 2021. I can't wait to have your perspective in on that group. And I'm curious, what are some of the differences you see, you know, being kind of a bicultural person, living in 2 different cultures, very different. What do you see as the main differences between Eastern and Western culture when it comes to the feminine roles and values?
Actually, when we are talking about Eastern and Western, I will more focus on the Indian part, Indian culture, where I grew up. I think in Indian culture, feminine role is most and first role is to take care of family, take care of household activities, is the first and main role of feminine. Nowadays, as rapid social and technological changes are there, it is observed that in the recent period, traditional role differentiation is breaking down, and especially in the fields of education and work. So nowadays, that traditional role is not completely defined role of feminine to take care of kids, to take care of family, to bring that sensitivity in each and every relationship, bring that most of the time. Means I have seen my mom every time sacrificing her own wish or her own things. So I think that traditional rules are now changing with the time. With globally, we are connecting. Eastern and Western culture is connecting. So I think that are nowadays that are changing very rapidly.
How do you feel about those changes? I guess I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, if you care to share that.
Yeah. Before this, means as I'm talking about this, in last 40 or 50 years, rules are changing, or I can say it's an additional role right now. Feminine is taking care of family, and again taking care to be financial independent. So this could be an additional role right now she is taking. But I think this is giving a lot of stress. Means taking care of kids, taking care of socially, she has to be engaged. She wants to work outside, and she has to be again available for family. So I think in all stuff, she is having pressure where she is not able to find her own space. And I feel like we are also losing our femininity with the time.
Yeah, this whole topic really intrigued me, when we were talking about this before, because it sounds very much like the US culture in some ways, because in the 1950s, it was pretty traditional in this country too, where the woman stayed home, took care of the family, and then kind of similar to what you're saying.
Right.
It moved away from that to where there's additional stress on women because they're not only doing the family, but they're also doing career, like you said, social obligations, and so they don't have time to themselves. And I know, I've had conversations with women, older women who grew up during the feminist movement, and I really get it now. I really do understand both sides of it now. I understand also from watching the show Mrs. America. I don't know if you've seen that show but it's about that movement. It's got Gloria Steinem in there and Phyllis Schlafly, who was the Republican conservative. But anyway, that show and just, my own studies have kind of gotten me interested in taking a look at the feminist movement and what didn't work with that. We want equal rights, but it kind of piled more on us. I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, I really feel that as we are asking for equal rights, we are asking more pressure. If I talk about Indian culture, in Indian culture, man is breadwinner and woman is completely, she is whole and soul taking care of household activities. And nowadays, if I think about, we are asking for equality, we are also running to earn money, to earn something, to earn that status. So I think that thing is giving a lot of pressure, because I have seen that Indian woman cannot leave her responsibilities. She cooks in morning, she cooks in the night for dinner, for lunch, for dinner. She is making breakfast and running for her own work and coming back, taking care of kids, taking them to different activities. And I think all that stuff is giving a lot of pressure as we are asking equality. If we ask equality in each and everywhere, at work, at home, sometimes it's not possible to give equal time for both the things. It could be from women's side, or it could be from man's. It could be from both end. So I think that's the biggest part which is giving pressure with that equality issue. And I feel this is not just on the feminine side. That pressure might be, means we are not on that part. That's why we don't know what's going on their end. But I think that equality pressure is giving on both the ends, and it's harmful for community. What do you think?
Right. It does feel like we had a good idea, but it didn't work. And so we kind of need to, it almost feels like we need to find different language or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, just even us using the term equal rights, it's like, what does that mean exactly? I don't know. It's sort of, I guess I'm moving toward more and more of an, what's right for each individual.
Right.
Right. And I'm really curious, because I don't have children and I'm not married. So you have a husband and children at home, and I'm just curious, how do you do it? Because I know you have a really busy practice too. So will you share some wisdom about that, of how you and your husband, figured this problem out,
I feel like I'm the luckiest woman, that my husband is very cooperative. He knows what's my work, and this is not just related to this work, healing practice. This is not just with the healing practice. Before this, I was working as a software engineer. So I think that time also I got that support. One basic thing is that I need not to earn money. This is his quote. You need not to earn money. You can work for people who need this work, who need this help. So that's the basic support. He can handle all the work pressure, or all the earning money and getting settled, or whatever stuff is that for kids and for our future. So that's the basic support which I'm getting from my husband. And I think this is the basic thing. where you can work more efficiently, effectively. And second thing I really practice my own means Reiki or meditation. I do my practice early in the morning at 4:30, so that whole day before my work starts for my kids or before the day starts, I am ready with that energy, which is calming and soothing, and I already taken care of myself. I'm giving time for my thoughts, for my feelings, for my physical body. So I think that is helping me to work more efficiently and more effectively towards towards my family and towards my work, healing practice.
So you've been able to find a balance, and please tell me if I'm reading into this, but it sounds like your work is not draining you. It sounds like your work is sort of like an enhancement of your life instead of a drain. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. This is enhancing my capacity, and it enhancing work for people, for women. I'm especially working for Indian women so that they can have that capacity to manage and happy with that work. You know, right now, as I told you, that we are running for work, for that work, we are running for to earn money, and we have to take care because it's in our belief system that we have to take care of kids, we have to take all the responsibilities at home. So it is in back of our mind, and that thing, if we don't work for house, or if we don't work for our kids, if we don't work for our husband, for our family, I think that guilt is very strong, that brings us shame. And because of that belief system, we try to figure out how we can manage everything, how we can be a superwoman. I feel like that most of the Indian women are, I don't know about in United States, what they are doing, but I feel like they are trying to be a superwoman and again, I don't think being a superwoman, we will find a space where we can calm down ourselves. So that's the big deal.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because, you know, that leads to another topic I wanted to cover with you, which is self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just have to chime in here and say that I feel like we've set these expectations of ourselves that are really unrealistic, to kind of keep up with our materialism, you know, the need to make a certain amount of money requires two people to work. You're in a situation where that pressure is not on you. So you've obviously worked out a way to live, you know, a lifestyle that you can afford where there's not the money pressure on you to bring in a certain amount so you guys can live your life, you know. So I think we've really got to lower the materialism, you know, the consumerism, and lower our expectations of ourselves in this country anyway, because I do think we are, I mean, the burnout with women that I see, that I've witnessed over my whole career of, you know, now it's been 25 years, it's like we're not getting the support, and we're not taking care of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I think that's very important. Means it's not like that my husband is earning more than we need, but yes, right now we are focusing on our happiness Right now, we are focusing what work means. Materialistic life is not just the one thing in our life. I think we should find our happiness. We should do something which can be helpful for community. So I think that balance is there with me and my husband. So we can deal with this.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm noticing just even the way you're talking about things, you've mentioned community a couple of times, like in your family, you know, you think about the whole, you think about the whole community.
Yes.
And I do feel like that may be a cultural difference in terms of India. And this might be an assumption, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but that India is really kind of looking at things through more of a divine feminine lens, possibly in terms of this, in terms of I don't know, is that correct?
Yes, at some extent, definitely we are looking with that glass, with that lens. Yes, when I am talking about family, means in Indian culture, family is not just you four or you. It's 3 generation is a family. Means my in-laws, me, and my kids. Many times we have, and if my husband is having brother, so we stay together. Sometimes, many times, I think we have joint families. Nowadays, it's there, but at least I can say we are living 3 generations living together. And that's why I feel like I'm talking about community and family system. And that's why I feel like family constellation work is more important in terms of to build that connection again, to build that support and love again into the family system.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think I had a pretty narrow, let's say, focus in terms of my family because I didn't grow up with really much extended family around at all. You know, it was just this 4 of us, little nuclear family. And so the family constellations work has definitely opened me up to the importance of thinking about things in terms of, you know, ancestral lineages and the importance of healing those, I guess, what do you call them, Trupti? Like splits or just separations in the...
We can call it as splits.
Splits, yeah. Where there's just no contact or there's just been kind of a cut off.
Yeah.
The ties have been cut, you know.
Right.
And that's very true in this country, I think, where the ties, we don't keep those ties like they sounds like you do in India. So
yeah, basically, as I'm talking about, 3 generations are living under one roof. That is big support. If my brother's wife, sister-in-law, wants to go out and work, his son can be taken care by my mom. No need to worry at all. And that's the big support in India or in Indian culture. So I think that's why I'm more focused on my work. Yes, I have to do my responsibilities. I have to cook. I have to look after my kids. That's there, but I can handle myself. I can take care of myself because family system is there. You have support system, so it's a positive. We can call it as a set.
Definitely one of the benefits of that. And then, you know, I'm thinking about living under the same roof with 3 generations, and that, you know, for someone like me, it's just, that sounds sort of mind blowing. Like, how would you do that? But I get it, that it's just, you know, we've got to get our heads around the cultural differences. And I know there are some, but we're also, as we talk, seeing a lot of similarities too, and just kind of how Westernized it is becoming, and sort of our disease is getting carried over. Our disease of overworking, I'll say, and overperforming. But
Yeah, it's that thing is means I can means as we are globally connecting to each other, the world is right now world is smaller, and we're taking diseases with that. We are taking that struggle, we are taking that pressure. At some point I feel like we are losing our culture. But yes, that's why I want to work for women, so that if woman is strong, empowered, and if she is that sensitive with her femininity, I think we can balance again.
yeah, that's where I think you and I are very aligned in wanting to do this work around women developing their divine feminine side. And I think men need to develop that too. I mean, there's a deficit of divine feminine, I think, amongst the culture. So I totally agree that if we start to focus around the women and the mothers of our children and support them better, and we got to do it for ourselves too, then the culture will thrive, I really think.
Right, really.
What are some of the biggest issues that you see with your clients, you know, and women that you know? What would you say kind of are some of the number one issues?
If I talk about my clients, then I think first issue, I feel like each and everyone wants to be superwoman. Everyone wants to be superwoman. And that's giving a lot of pressure. They are not taking self-care. And I feel like respect is the most important thing which we are missing. Respect from men, or respect means from community, from women also. It's not just respect from men, like but I feel like it's from othering things. Women are othering, so it's the big issue which I feel.
So you, it sounds like you're speaking to the fact that, you know, women have been marginalized in our culture, in the world.
Right. In the world.
And then I, you know, I think part of why I want to really be working on social justice, you know, having a very much of a decolonized business model, diversity, all of those things. Because to me, there is an overlap here between, you know, women's issues and racial issues.
Right.
The two meet, and we can help each other, I think, in both these realms. I'm just curious what you think about that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like a racial issue is the biggest issue now. It means all this, I will say, world is facing this issue, and that discrimination is also girl child and boy child, which we are talking about femininity and masculine thing. I think these are the biggest issue which Indian woman is also facing, and I feel like it is a worldwide problem.
Definitely, yes. And I think I'll just say kind of what I'm thinking about this at this point in time is that, you know, if I focus on women, you know, empowering, helping women be empowered and learn to take care of themselves and demand the respect, stand in their power, make sure they are getting the respect that they deserve. I do feel like that's going to shift the culture. I do feel like the women are going to be leading the way in a lot of ways. Not that men won't be also, but
Yeah, that's true. That I really feel, and I feel like that's why we need to work for women so that we can find that balance.
yes, I couldn't agree more. And I know, I wanted to speak to unconscious bias, because as a white woman, I'm really working on that. And I'm really noticing when I make assumptions about people based on race, or religion even, or, I mean, just no one's clean from this, right? So I remember when we spoke before, you said that, and tell me if I remembered your words correctly, but it was something to the effect of, the women flow. I think you said the women are flowy,
Yeah.
and the creators, you mentioned Shakti and the creative life force, and that the men come in to support that and take care of them. Didn't you say something like that? Yeah. And I noticed my reaction to that was a couple different things. One was noticing that that kind of, was sort of confirming of my bias that Indian women are traditional. So I had a label, right? I had a label for that. Oh, that's traditional, old school thinking, right? And it was a big wake up for me, because there's part of me that's like, wants to be so independent and do it for myself. And you know what? That really hasn't worked very well for me. I mean, it's worked, but it's exhausting. And I don't even have kids, so I don't know how y'all do it, but with kids too. But it got me thinking, Trupti, and it was a good thought process around, wow, what would that be like to just be, to have community and just to have a partner that just came in and supported like that. Like that just sounds dreamy, kind of, when I'm really honest. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to speak to, Trupti, about the unconscious bias? Anything you've observed, or anything to add to that?
Actually, I haven't experienced any conscious bias towards me as an Indian woman. Rather, I felt more respect from white women. Rather, I felt white people are respecting Indian culture. Not just white women, they are respecting our culture. I really appreciate that. And I feel like this is privilege thing to become Indian.
Yeah, I'm glad you've had that experience. And I know it's different, with each ethnicity, there's different stereotypes and different assumptions that are made about people of different races. So I'm glad I've had a good experience with that. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you. Maybe just what you would like to teach the most, because I want to have you come and be a guest facilitator at some point. And are there certain topics or things that you would really want to share with women in particular, particularly younger generations?
If I talk about for younger generation, I think we should honor our sensitivity. Basically, I feel like looking to our femininity is basically, this is a beautiful gift creator gave us, gift of creation. So we should praise that gift. I think if I want to teach something, I will more focus how to bring that femininity again, and how to honor our self feelings, how to maintain our authenticity. I think that part would be more focused if I teach something, because I have learned that to praise our gift. This is just beautiful gift creator gave us to create anything in our life.
Yes, I agree there. And I've really learned to appreciate my sensitivity and intuition. And, this is a big thing that I want to teach as well, is really how to use those gifts in an empowered way, because I think I've seen it almost as a deficit at times in my life, when it really is something to be celebrated. Like you're saying, it's just not valued in our culture, I think, for what it really does bring to us, which, gosh, that's a whole nother topic, right? All of the gifts that come from being in touch with our divine femininity. But no, I think that's a great way to end things, and kind of close out our discussion for today, is just really that message to women that, your tenderness and your sensitivity and your intuition are just beautiful gifts to the world, and we need them so much right now to balance all of this.
Right. And we just need to appreciate and honor that. That's all.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Trupti. Yeah, is there anything left that you would like to ask me, or anything else that you would like to share that I didn't ask you about?
If we are talking about big issues or burning issues about Indian women, I would like to ask you about what are the burning issues in United States, here in US.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think the self-care thing, and the high rate of burnout, is probably one of the biggest things. So this is why I moved away from mental health work, psychotherapy, which is in a kind of a Western medical model, even though I've always done other things outside of that that were considered more spiritual or metaphysical. I was still in that world, and it felt limiting in terms of just how I want to really focus the work on the women, and particularly on this developing the divine feminine and all of those traits and values. So I think self-care, I have to say, is probably one of the biggest things I see, and internalized patriarchy, which, you know, I'm still figuring out the right language for a lot of this, but to me, that takes the form of codependency, or kind of taking on the toxic masculine behaviors, like the overworking and the being caught up in producing and doing all the time. You know, so it's the out of balance woman kind of acting more like the toxic masculine, and not, yeah, it's really the same thing you talked about, I think.
Yeah, I think these are burning issues worldwide.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. So we are, well, I'll speak for myself, learning as we go here how to make these shifts globally, right? With ourselves, and then with our community and with the world. And, you know, this is why I just think these conversations are really important, particularly between people of different cultural backgrounds.
Right. And yeah, I think that is helping to clear up our unconscious bias, mental labeling nature. So I think this is really helpful.
Yes, I think so too. And I want to thank you for taking time to talk with me today, Trupti. I know we'll be talking more, and I'll be at your graduation on Sunday from Family Constellations training. So I'm glad I'll still get to see you and kind of stay in touch after that's over. But yeah, thank you so much. And
Really appreciate, and I feel honored. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah. We'll make sure people know kind of how to reach you, you know, how to access your services. Is there anything you want to say about anything you're offering right now that you want people to know about? Or
I think right now I am offering constant meditation, which is guided constellation, which is guided meditation. And that is helping so much to know what's there in our field. So I think right now I'm doing that.
that's beautiful. Yes, I'm enjoying working with that as well. Because we've had to adapt somewhat too to this virtual way of working with people. So it's forced me to really do some different innovative things that are actually working really well.
Right.
So I'm glad you're offering that, Trupti. And I will let you go for now. And it's great to have you here, Trupti. You have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.